Now I've got to the end of the row. You can see that I've done the purl 2s and the knit 1 all along, and for safety always check that you've done it correctly, just in case you've done one stitch in the opposite with the opposite type, i.e. you've done a purl instead of a plain, because it's nothing worse than having to unravel your work. There's a lot of stitches to undo. In order to create the rib, you now work the reverse on the other side. So that was the right side. We're now looking at the wrong side. And so what was a purl at the back is now a plain at the front. What was a plain at the back is now a purl at the front. That's the beauty of plain and purl. And when we get to the body of the work, I'll talk to you about stocking stitch. So now what we have to do is, where there were purl stitches on the right side of the work, we're now going to do plain stitch on the wrong side of the work. So taking your work, again, put your needle through, hold it with your opposite hand, set your tension. So that's how I've set mine. So let me do that for you again. I've got it like that. So I've got it coming through that finger, and then I grip it underneath my hand like that, and then I just loop. There you go. That's better. I loop it over. So there's a bit of a flow going. It's not too loose and it's not too tight. So plain stitch goes through the front of the stitch. Put the needle through the front of the stitch. Take the yarn round, bring it back. Because you're doing purl, you've got to bring the yarn round to the front again. Purl, plain, take the yarn back round to the other side of the work, hook through the front of the stitch, needle through the front of the stitch, yarn around the needle, another plain. So you're working 2 plain, 1 purl, whereas on the first side, on the first row, you were 2 purl, 1 plain. Again, gripping it, bring the yarn back round, needle through the back of the stitch, yarn around the needle, bring it back, take the work back round for your 2 plain stitches. Now, resting the needle like that and not having to take my hands off of my work means I can work faster. Because if you're taking your hands off, I'll show you how that is. So you bring the work back round, bring it back. Some people prefer to work this way. Whereas I always find that it's quicker with it hooked under. So here I go, and under my finger like that. It's 2 plain, 1 purl. Bring it through, back around, 2 plain, bring the yarn through. So you probably see that it is a little bit quicker like this than taking my needle, my hands off the yarn and having to hold it. Keep taking my hands off the needles, I should say. Yep, just checking that I'm still right. I am okay. While I'm working, I'm also, on occasions, just pushing my needles, my stitches up the needle to get them nearer the top, so that I'm not having to work so far down the needles. What we have to do now is carry on until we've got another 8 rows.